Have you ever felt like you're praying to the ceiling? Deafening silence from God, right when you needed an answer the most? Now, imagine that feeling lasting for 400 years. Subscribe now to uncover the secret to breaking God's silence. Malachi's final message wasn't goodbye, but warning. Discover how a 2,400-year-old key can turn the silence in your life into dialogue with God. Join us for this profound revelation. Clue number 1. Corrupted worship. The priests, the spiritual leaders, were offering God their leftovers. They were supposed to present the best animals to sacrifice. Beauty instead. They chose blind, sick animals, the kind offerings they wouldn't even give to a friend. Malachi question on God's behalf. If I am a father, where is my honor? This clue reveals that the priests were going through the motions of worship, but hearts were far away from truly honoring God. Does this scenario sound family in your life or in modern society? Clue number 2. Broken promises. In the time of Malachi, the covenant of marriage was sacred, symbolizing the unbreakable bond between God and His people. However, men were callously abandoning the wives of their youth, disregarding their solemn vows and commitments. This act of betrayal not only shattered family, but also reflected a deeper issue of unfaithfulness towards God. Covenant with Him. The breakdown of marriages during Malachi serves as stark reminder that how we treat our fellow human beings is a direct reflection of our relationship with God. Clue number 3. The dishonest robbery. During the time of Malachi, the people were not only withholding their tithes and offering, but were also cleaning in deceptive practice to avoid their financial responsibilities towards God. These present a facade of piety and devotion in public, yet behind closed doors, they schemed to keep the best for themselves. This act of dishonest robbery was not merely about monetary contributions, but about the lack of trust and faith in God's provision. By withholding what rightfully belonged to God, they were essentially robbing Him of the opportunity to bless them abundantly. Malachi's discernment exposed this hidden sin that permeated society, emphasizing that touring work involved not only outward, but also genuine integrity and transparency in our dealings with God. The silence that enveloped the land after Malachi's final prophecy was not merely an abstaining of sound, but a profound void of spiritual connection. It was a deafening stillness that echoed the collective disregard for the sacredness of worship and covenantal relationships. The people's corrupted worship, broken promises, and dishonest robbery were symptomatic of a deeper malaise, the erosion of reverence for the Almighty. The loss of reverence led to a desecration of the very essence of their faith, turning rituals into routines and sacrifice into mere gestures. They drifted further from honoring God's holiness and worthiness. Their prayers became hollow echoes bouncing off the walls of empty hearts. The silence that followed was not a punishment inflicted by a distant deity, but the consequence of hearts groundless and ears turned deaf to the divine whispers. It was in this vacuum of reverence that the message from above too seemed muted. For how can hear the voice of God when His name is in the loner held in awe? The prophecy languished unfulfilled, not due to divine forgetfulness, but human neglect. In this was of quiet contemplation, they were left to ponder, where had their honor gone? And in that question lay the key to unlocking the silence that gripped their souls. The silence that enveloped the land after Malachi's final prophecy was not merely an abstaining of sound, but a profound void of spiritual connection. It was a deafening stillness that echoed the collective disregard for the sacredness of worship and covenantal relationships. The people's corrupted worship, broken promises, and disjust robbery were symptomatic of a deeper malaise, the erosion of reverence for the Almighty. The loss of reverence led to a desecration of the very essence of their faith, turning rituals into routines and sacrifice into mere gesture. They drifted further from honoring God's holiness and worthiness. Their prayers became hollow echoes, bouncing off the walls of empty hearts. The silence that followed was not a punishment inflicted by a distant deity, but the consequence of hearts groundless and ears turned deaf to the divine whispers. It was in this vacuum of reverence that the message from above seemed muted. For how can hear the voice of God when his name is in the loner held in awe? The prophecy languid unfulfilled, not due to divine forgetfulness, but human neglect. In this was of quiet contemplation. They were left to ponder where had their honor gone. And in that question lay the key to unlocking the silence that gripped their souls. This prolonged silence was not just an intermission in divine communication. It was a mirror reflecting back their spiritual condition, one devoid of honor and filled with indifference. The essence of honoring God lies not only in the external rituals, but in the international transformation of our hearts. It's about acknowledging his sovereignty, magnificence, and unwavering love in every aspect of our lives. When we honor God with our best time, we prioritize their precept above all distracts. By giving him our undivided attention and dedicating moments of genuine connection with him, we invite his voice to resonate within us. Honoring God with our best focus means aligning our thoughts, idol, and ambitions with Hori's divine will. It's about fixing our gaze on his eternal truths rather than fleeting tempts or worldly pursuits. When we center our minds on his word and meditate on his promises, we open ourselves to profound revelations and transformative encounters with the Almighty. Furthermore, honoring God with our best loyalty involves wholehearted devotion and allegiance to his kingdom principles. It requires surrendering our selfish inclinations, ambitions, and comforts at the feet of the one who sacrificed everything for us. When we pledge our unwavering loyalty to God, we demonstrate that he is the ultimate priority in our lives, deserving reverence, obedience, and worship above all else. Therefore, the key to breaking the silence between us and God lies in honoring him not just with external gestures, but with a profound internal shift that permeates every facet of our existence. Where is your honor? The silence that pervaded the land was not a mere absence of noise, but a profound disconnect from the divine. It was a chasm born out of indifference, a void echoing the neglect of reverence for the Almighty. As Malachi probed the hearts of the people, his words carried the weight of centuries of unheeded warnings and unfulfilled promises. The query, "Where is your honor?" reverberated through the silent temples and deserted altars, seeking to rekindle the flames of devotion that had long been extinct. It was a call to introspection, a plea to recognize that true worship transcends mere rituals and demands a genuine acknowledgement of God's sovereignty. The cure for this deafening silence lay not in elaborate sacrifice or hollow prayers, but in the restoration of honor. Honor that acknowledges God's rightful place as King and Creator. Honor that breathes life into worship, infuses promises with meaning, and rebuilds trust on foundations of faithful. Therefore, let us heed Malachi's timeless question and embark on a journey to rediscover the honor our God is due. Where is your honor? The concept of honor goes beyond mere respect or admiration. It embodies a deep reverence and acknowledgement of someone's intrinsic worth and dignity. In the context of Malachi's prophecy, the question, "Where is your honor?" serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of recognizing God's supreme authority and holiness. Honoring God, not only offering Him our best in terms of material possessions or external rituals, but also in cultivating the heart attitude of humility, gratitude, and obedience. When we honor God, we affirm His rightful place as the sovereign ruler of our lives, acknowledging His wisdom, love, and power. This act of honoring God transforms our worship from superficial routine into a sacred encounter where every prayer, every offense, and everything promise carries the weight of genuine devotion. By restoring honor to God in our hearts and actions, we pave the way for a deeper relationship with Him, breaking the silence that separates us and ushering in a dialogue filled with reverence, intimacy, and divine presence. Where is your honor? The silence that languid for 400 years was shattered by the promise of Jesus, the dawn of a new era. In the midst of darkness and despair, light emerged, radiant with healing and restoration. The prophecy of Malachi found its fulfillment in the person of Jesus Christ, the Son of Righteousness, whose arrival signaled a new beginning for humanity. His birth heralded a message of hope, love, and redemption, piercing through the veil of silence that had separated mankind from God. Jesus came not to condemn, but to reconcile, not to judge, but to save. His life exemplified the ultimate honor and obedience to the Father, restoring the broken relationship between God and His creation. Through His sacrificial death on the cross and triumphant resurrection, Jesus offered a path to forgiveness, grace, and eternal life. The promise of Jesus resonates through the ages, inviting us to embrace His gift of salvation and walk in the light of His truth. As we behold the Son of Righteousness rising with healing in its wings, we avided to bask in the warmth of God's love and experience the transformational power of history. Let us journey together in rediscovering the honor bestowed upon us through Christ's sacrifice and embrace the eternal promise of redemption. Where is your honor? As we journey through the profound revelations of Malachi's prophecies and the decoding of the silence that gripped a nation for centuries, we are faced with a pivotal question that resonates through the corrects of time. Where is your honor? This question transcends mere works. It delves into the depths of our souls, challenging us to reflect on the essence of reverence, devotion, and allen to the Almighty. In a world filled with distraction, uncertainties, and fleeting pleasures, honoring God may seem like a distant echo from a bygone era. Yet, in this quest for meaning and purpose, we discover that true fulfillment lies in acknowledging God's sovereignty, embracing His love, and walking in His ways. The call to honor God is not a burden but a blessing, the pathway to divine intimacy, spiritual growth, and eternal significance. Let us embark on this transformative journey together as we seek to rediscover the honor our God is due. Subscribe now to join a community dedicated to exploiting the hidden treasures of faith and unlocking the mysteries of divine silence. If this message stirred your heart, subscribe for more deep dives into hidden truths of the Bible. Click subscribe and let's continue this journey together. Join us in rediscovering the honor our God deserves. Subscribe now for more insightful videos.